Hello everyone, and welcome to an Aku review. Adam Jensen, the protagonist of 2011's Deus Ex Human Revolution, returns to once again put a stop to terrorist activities and attempt to flip the balance of power in the world under the watchful eye of the elusive Illuminati. Working as a double agent, Adam Jensen will find himself dealing with augmented segregation, shady characters, and making critical decisions, trying to find a balance that puts the power in the player's hands. The weight of these choices can vary and are sometimes few and far between, yet are often not as important as they would like to be.
Did we get anything out of the cleanup operation?
Mostly corpses. Heavily augmented, as you know.
Despite this, there is still fun to be had as there are many choices to make not only regarding character interactions but in combat scenarios as well. As far as stories go, Deus Ex Mankind Divided takes itself just as seriously as the previous game.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you made it out of Panchaea.
Thank you. It wasn't easy, as I'm sure you know.
It has many good vocal performances, but the facial animation could have used a little more time and polish. For what it's worth, faces are readable and the emotion can be conveyed where it counts. The same cannot be said for minor characters though, as they are less impressive to look at and hardly say anything attention-grabbing.
Z was kołka I pocisie.
The world of Mankind Divided can oftentimes look very fleshed out, from the small clutter of a desk to large structures that look like they could belong in an art museum. Lots of thought and care were put into the world building aspect and should be admired for a second or two for the work put into it. The music in the game is also notable as it gives a mood for our protagonist to pave his path through this segregated world. Mankind Divided is a game that offers a variety of player choice, so much choice in fact that one might forget the other options available to them. I experienced this as I had to learn the flow of the game without any hand-holding, annoying pop-up tutorials, and other tropes that gamers take issues with nowadays.
You don't mess with these people, Adam. Not by yourself.
I would often find myself getting lost or wondering what to do and how to proceed until I finally realized the options available to me. After a few hours, the game's default controls, which can be slightly confusing at first, started making sense, and I began to understand that the main crux of the gameplay is in its options. This can be both a good and a bad thing, as players are able to tackle combat and non-combat situations in a plethora of ways, yet might lean heavily on familiar tactics and may fall into repetition. Non-combat scenarios feed into the stealth and or firefight situations via the experience you earn for almost every action you take. From exploring the hub world like city to hacking locked door terminals, everything you do will give you amounts of experience, big or small. Said experience will unlock the use of praxis kits, which are essentially upgrade points used on a skill tree that can unlock Adam Jensen's usual upgrades from the previous game. And yes, this includes the return of the Resident Evil 4 style inventory system that will have perfectionists agonizing over item placement and organization. As far as Jensen's skills go, there are new upgrades that have mysteriously appeared in his system. Early on in the game, Jensen is limited to how many upgrades he can have activated at a time, but eventually, a side mission will yield the ability to use every upgrade as you like, no holds barred.
You feel weightless, far away, like you're someone else.
Having these options available to you will encourage players to seek out hidden vents or to search for pocket secretaries, which are small personal devices found either out in the open or can be looted from bodies. These small devices will have key codes for doors or passwords for computers for those who don't want to invest their precious limited praxis kits into the hacking upgrades. Though be warned that not all of the codes for every computer are lying around in plain sight and may require some vigorous searching throughout the world. As previously stated, the world of Mankind Divided has many options available to the player, which are not only limited to exploration or dialogue choices, but in the way players wish to tackle combat scenarios as well. Mankind Divided offers your basic selection of weapon archetypes from the familiar handgun, shotgun, and sniper rifles that people have become accustomed to in today's games, but offers non-lethal choices as well in the form of a stun gun, a tranquilizer gun, and some other upgrades that the players can unlock. But just like its non-combat scenarios, Mankind Divided offers choice in its approach to taking on enemies. Players can fight head-on and upgrade their weapons using crafting parts they can find scattered around the world, but if they so choose, they can also use stealth to get around tough scenarios.
But in my experience, that doesn't get you much when the storm comes down.
In my personal playthrough, I tended to use stealth takedowns and would hack and sneak my way around until things went south and I was forced to fight my way through situations. I favored this method as it gave me the option to experience the variety the game has to offer. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is a good time overall, and its strengths are in the variety of choices the game lets you have to experience it the way you want and at a pace that you feel comfortable with. Given the do-as-you-please nature of the game, it is up to players to remember the other options available to them. With that in mind, go out there and be the best agent you can be, and remember, you can't kill progress.